when it did actually go, I knew I was in a bit of strife. And I walked across to the sideline, and you can't put your hand up and say see you later, sort of thing, because it was a bit early to do that. But I never felt like doing that, because that's what I knew I couldn't play next week. I've lived every boy's dream, I guess, to play, but definitely didn't get the fairy tale, I suppose. But like I said, I've lived something through professional sport, something that I set out to do as a young kid, and I've ticked a few boxes along the way. So I'm very happy to achieve that, and especially at this place, Newcastle, one-team town, and it's just a huge part of my life.
Yeah, some moments there from the career of Danny Buderus. Of course, his career as far as the NRL is concerned finished last Saturday night right here at Energy Australia Stadium when he tore that bicep muscle, unfortunately, against the North Queensland Cowboys. It is Old Boys Day here in Newcastle. Plenty of old knights here to have a look at them go around against the Melbourne Storm. And joining one of the greats right now from the Newcastle Knights of the past is our own Gary Belcher.
Yes, and I have a Newcastle great with me, Mark Sargent. Danny Buderus has just walked up the middle to a standing ovation from a lot of his former players. Great to see such a big contingent of former players out for him today, Sarge.
Yeah, mate, I mean, it's an annual event for us, but I think Danny's departure has sort of brought a few more out on this occasion, because he's been such a figure in the club.
Can you sum him up in a few words?
Oh, I think, yeah, I mean, I think the usual descriptions of the great players, toughness and dedication, and the great thing about him is he's always remained the approachable sort of good guy that he's always been, even when he was a young bloke. So, I mean, he's been terrific for this football club, and it's what this club's been built on.
Andrew Johns, I guess a lot of people would say, has been the greatest player for this club. Would you rate Bedsy very close behind him?
Yeah, well, Joey's sort of in his own little universe, in my opinion. But I mean, when you talk about blokes like Bedsy and Ben Kennedy, and they're the next rank of blokes who have just been exceptional here. And I mean, the guy's played his whole career here, and I mean, it's obviously a big night for the club as well to see the departure of this player.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining us. There's a bit of a presentation happening now, so we'll let you get back to that. Thanks, Sarge. Back to you, gents.
To the colossal leader that he's done now in the stratosphere, the heights and things that he's done has been quite amazing. We've had many champions in this club, but there will never be another Danny Buderus, a wonderful torchbearer for us all to look up to. And today, mate, we humbly say farewell, thank you, and to you, your wife Chris, your baby Ella, we wish you all the very best in England. And just let it be known that the Buderus name will always be known as a champion here in Newcastle. We love you. Well done.
It's been a huge week for myself, starting last Saturday. Obviously a pretty quick end of my career, but then I had a great day on Wednesday. Thanks to everyone that organised that day on Wednesday. That lunch was a massive day for myself. I had the operation Thursday. I've got my head around not playing tonight, but the hardest thing is not being able to wear the colours. I said that during the week, the colours of our famous club, and to tradition that Old Boys carries, and to run out amongst these blokes that have set the standards in concrete for all us players to strive for. And if I've passed a little bit down to the current day players, and that's anyone that runs out of that shed tonight, that's all I want out of anyone, is to get the faith and the trust in the spectators that we're heading in the right direction, and I think we've done that this year. The fans, that's the emotional part. You're the true supporters and the true people of the game, and I love you so much, and you're a huge part of my life, and the well wishes and text messages that I've got this week, it's been overwhelming, and thank you. To my parents, Mum and Dad, I know you're up there on the hill, and to my beautiful wife Chris and Ella, it's I thank you for letting me follow my dreams when I was young, to come down at a young age, and I've ticked a lot of boxes along the way, and I've been a huge part of that as well. So that's about it. I hope to see you soon. I'll be heading over to Leeds, and hopefully a few people can flick on the Fox and follow my career over there. But I'll be back here one day and put a little bit back into this club that that it deserves. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Benji. Ladies and gentlemen, I notice that everyone's standing. We'll ask Danny now to do all that. Keep standing, and as he comes around, give him everything you got, because he's been one of our greatest, and he deserves it. You'll also see that as Danny leads the way, there'll be a gap between Harry and the old boys.
We will follow Danny round part of his lap here. Of course, he gets such an ovation from the loyal Newcastle fans right here. Of course, he had a testimonial lunch on Wednesday. A star-studded gathering, as it turned out, when he was a young lad growing up in Taree, up the coast here in New South Wales. His hero, despite being a proud blue, was the famous great Queenslander himself, Wally Lewis, the Queensland and Australian captain. And Wally was able to make it to the lunch on Wednesday to pay tribute to Danny Buderus.
Just to have some association with Danny. For me, I think I've been the lucky one in watching him play footy over the last decade. It's been terrific. I've had the opportunity to watch him win premierships with Newcastle and play wonderfully for Australia. I'll be honest and say it's a pain in the arse to watch you to play for New South Wales, especially when you were handing out those defeats to Queensland. But I think probably the best thing I can say and closest thing that sticks to Danny is that he is one of the real gentlemen of the game, and he may feel that he has been very lucky to play rugby league, but I think rugby league has been very lucky to have Danny Buderus as one of its players.
There's some nice words there from the King, Wally Lewis, talking at Danny Buderus' testimonial on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Look, Danny Buderus is a perfect mix for a footballer, isn't he? He had the talent, but he had that will to win. He was mentally tough. He was such a great competitor. And it was a career of perseverance. Danny Buderus was no brilliant youngster. Certainly he wasn't a hooker. He was a halfback 5'8" centre when he came here to the Knights. Took over when Steve Walters was injured, really. He debuted in 97, but took over in the season of 1999. And really mastered the craft of being a dummy half. He was a great dummy half, but it was that toughness and that attitude that he took to every game that made him the champion that he is. You just knew what you were going to get with Danny Buderus.
There are plenty who believe that he is the greatest hooker in the history of New South Wales Rugby League. Of course, it's been a season of much debate as far as greats of all time, with the naming of the team of the century earlier this year, of course. But what a player he has been here for the Knights. 220 first-grade games. A player and captain for New South Wales of the ultimate distinguishment. 21 games for New South Wales, 15 of them as captain, 5 consecutive series, of course, winning back in 2004 and also 2005. It might have been tough in recent times for the Blues, quite obviously, but it wasn't through any fault of that man on screen.
Oh, look, no, a true champion. And look, Wally Lewis mentioned it, so did Paul Harrigan. They spoke about Danny Buderus, the person, as did Mark Sargent. Danny Buderus is a champion man, along with being a champion player.
Got to captain his country along with fellow great Knights, Andrew Johns and also Paul Harrigan, and it was great to see Paul Harrigan able to pay tribute to him here before Danny made his speech. He played 24 games for Australia, captain 4 times. It's just a terrific moment for him, and the sound of "Oh Danny Boy" ringing out around Energy Australia. Of course, let's take a look at one of the great moments from Danny's origin career in just a short moment, but right now we will go back downstairs to Gary Belcher.
Well, we see Robert